and Dwayne Wade right at the body of Anderson Varejao. Welcome to your Kodak moment, Anderson Varejao. Curry way downtown. Bang! Bang! Oh, what a shot from Curry.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the BSPN radio show. I am your host, Max, along with
Tilo. And today we're going to talk about, the 49ers being the only undefeated team. Of course, the Ravens handed the Patriots their first L. We're going to talk about the standings in both the East and Western Conference of the NBA because things are looking exciting there.
Things are looking exciting for certain teams.
We're going to talk John Collins' suspension and a lot of other things. But first, I want to apologize to everyone because sadly, the people who manage the Bennington radio cleared the cache of recorded shows last week, which means I wasn't able to download the one that we had last week, which was talking about the World Series, talking about everything going on. So I won't be able to upload it on the YouTube, so I want to apologize to anyone who's going to be listening to that. But let's get it started.
Hell yeah. All right, let's just start with the NBA standings. So we're looking at a different league. A little bit of a different league than we were looking at last week.
Yeah. In the East, we got the Sixers, followed by the Celtics, followed by the Heat, the Bucks, the Raptors, the Hornets, very surprisingly, the Hawks and the Pacers rounding out the top 8. I told you the Pacers would rebound. And then at 9, we got the Nets, followed by the Pistons, the Wizards, the Magic, the Cavs, the Bulls, and all the way at the bottom, your lowly, sad New York Knicks.
Yep, that sucks. So we'll talk about the East after we go into the West. With the West, you have the Lakers at 1, the Nuggets at 2.
Lakers have won 6 straight.
Yep. After starting 0-1, they've gone 6-0. Then you got the Nuggets at 5-2.
The Suns.
The Suns on a 3-game win streak.
Especially without DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah.
Which no one really expected.
No, but Devin Booker is showing up. They're putting the pieces together finally, it seems.
Yeah.
The Clippers, right there, also at 5-2, number 4. And the Mavs, the T-Wolves, we saw them
There we go, baby.
Saw them fall a little bit.
Well, we lost our best player because Joel Embiid is a hacking drama queen.
Yeah, well, we could talk about that. And then you got the Rockets at 7, the Jazz at 8. And then at 9 through 12, you have the Spurs, the Blazers, the Thunder, and the Warriors. And then from 13 to 15, you have the Kings, the Grizzlies, and the Pelicans. So no more teams without a win and no more teams without a loss. So
yeah.
I think the biggest ones are the Sixers and the
Lakers, both being not surprising, but dominant.
Yeah, definitely. But then you have the Celtics. I think we
sleep on the Celtics?
Yes. I think the Celtics, especially on this show, because we haven't really given them much attention.
Yeah, but they are, outside of the Jason Tatum game winner on the Knicks, how much have they really done that's been impressive? They played the Hornets.
Well, they're on a 5-game win streak.
Yeah. And Gordon Hayward dropped 39 yesterday.
Hayward tied his career high.
Yeah. 39, 7, and something else on 17 of 20 shooting.
Yeah, so he was looking
good.
He was looking like Butler Gordon Hayward.
Yeah. Yeah.
We hadn't seen that Gordon Hayward in a very long time, but it's very good to see him back.
Yeah.
And on the wagon.
The Celtics are one good center away from contending.
Yeah, and I think I saw the Celtics are either going to try and trade for Steven Adams or Clint Capella. And either one of those,
I think Clint Capella would be a better fit, but it's unlikely the Rockets are going to let him go.
Yeah.
The only way the Rockets let him go, I saw a Bleacher Report mock trade that had Clint Capella and Michael Kidd-Gilchrist going to the Cavs, the Hornets getting Isaiah Hartenstein, Nene, and a second, and then the Rockets getting Kevin Love. And in that situation, the Cavs would probably send Clint Capella somewhere else.
Yeah.
Especially because although they might keep him, who knows? But it feels like Steven Adams would be the only real choice there, and Steven Adams isn't the lob threat, and also isn't really the defensive
Yeah,
playmaker.
Steven Adams is kind of like just a better Enes Kanter.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
Which the Celtics don't really need because they have
Enes Kanter.
They have Enes Kanter.
What the Celtics really need is a great defensive center who's not going to be mad. They need Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, I was about to say they need a Rudy Gobert. They need a
Mitchell Robinson, who they should have taken instead of Robert Williams.
Well, thank God for that. But yeah, the Celtics are looking good. The Heat 5-2 are looking good.
I don't believe in the Heat. That's mostly because I hate Jimmy Butler.
Right? Yeah, you can't. I mean, but we'll see. Again, we're 7 games into the season, 8 games into the season, so we'll see.
The Bucks. I have this question for you, Max.
Yeah, what's good?
In the offseason, the Bucks maxed out Chris Middleton, right?
Yeah.
Which they had to do. They needed to keep their second scorer. They needed to do all of that. But in doing that, they had to get rid of Malcolm Brogdon because they were starting to get in cap troubles. No one wants that, especially not if you're in Milwaukee. So they let Malcolm Brogdon walk. And in his time with the Pacers, Malcolm Brogdon is averaging a clean 25 and 6 with 6 assists.
Yeah.
They could have let Chris Middleton walk, or they could have, signed and traded him somewhere. And the market for Chris Middleton was going to be pretty decent.
Yeah.
Do you think the Bucks should have held on to Malcolm Brogdon and try to replace Chris Middleton, or do you think they made the right decision?
I think they made the right decision. I think whichever player you choose, either Malcolm Brogdon or Chris Middleton, especially if you put them on a team like the Pacers, who are missing Victor Oladipo, they're gonna put up big numbers because on the Bucks, obviously, yeah, you can be called this. I mean, in Chris Middleton's case, I mean, whoever it is, you can be called the second option, but you're not really like. It's Giannis 1 through 5, and then it's you. So and like any player who's under Giannis's shadow, who finally gets a chance to lead a team, at least until the other star comes back, they're definitely going to want to show up and show out.
Yeah, but I for me individually, well, like in my opinion, I feel like you have a bit more cap space to go with that you don't have to fill out your roster with another Antetokounmpo and Robin Lopez. Like the Wesley Matthews signing was decent, but he hasn't looked great so far this year. I feel like for $10 million, you could have found a better option to replace Chris Middleton than what they tried to do to replace Malcolm Brogdon, which is George Hill. George Hill's been decent this season, but he hasn't really been. And Eric Bledsoe's had a down year. The amount of positions Brogdon could play gave them so much ability because he could have been a great six-man. He could have played point guard, shooting guard, whatever.
Yeah.
He had it all. I feel like Chris Middleton is missing that. And that's the big issue.
But, I mean, I think Chris Middleton is a much bigger threat from 3.
I'm not sure about that.
I just think...
Chris Middleton, what I'll give him is that he can certainly create his shot better.
Yeah, I think Chris Middleton is better with the ball in his hands. I mean, we are seeing Malcolm Brogdon putting up these numbers, but...
Malcolm Brogdon's full numbers in 34 minutes a game, he's putting up about 23 points per game, 10 assists, 6 rebounds, and 1.5 steals.
Right, so that's obviously very good.
Yeah.
But he's on the Pacers, who don't really
The Pacers
have...
are, what is that, 3 and 4?
The Pacers are 3 and 4. They're eighth.
Well, they've also won. They won 3 straight, right? Well, they won 3, lost 1, and then have 1 again. They've won 4 of their last 5.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the Bucks made the right decision, but I think if they went the other way, it wouldn't have been that bad of a drop off.
Yeah.
But I also think that if they let Chris Middleton walk, Chris Middleton would be putting up bigger numbers than Brogdon. If he's in a situation like the Pacers or another team like.
Well, how much is Bojan Bogdanovic getting paid for the Jazz? Because I feel like he does a lot of what Chris Middleton does. And
yeah,
and I don't think he got a full max. So
I mean, I don't think the argument here is whether he was worth the max.
Bojan is getting 4 years, 73, which is just about 18 mil a year. And then you have Brogdon, who's getting, I think it's 3 years, 60. So if you have those two combined, that's like 37 mil, and you're paying Chris Middleton by himself 35.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's getting paid a lot of money.
I feel like you would have been better off with that flexibility as opposed. I mean, it's harder to bring in players that you don't have your bird rights for, but they could have made it work.
Mm-hmm.
Like they sign and trades were abundant this offseason, and that kind of gets through cap problems.
Yeah.
If a player wants to go somewhere, they can make that happen. And the Bucks, instead of being aggressive in what they could have done to make a much better team, they kind of sat back and lost something big. And I think that's a big issue. I think the Bucks obviously aren't pretenders. If you have a player like Giannis Antetokounmpo, you're not a pretender. But they are certainly not as good of a team as last year. And I think there could be some serious panic going on. This isn't the start of a year that we expected them to have. Giannis has been dominant, but outside of him, what's going on? Like, that's the only issue I have with